Afternoon. This is Sirena Nereida with Celestial Soul Wellness, and we are still going through Mercury retrograde. We have a full moon today, and this full moon is at 14 degrees, 47 seconds, Leo, and it's at 3:09 this afternoon Pacific time. So, wow, can we still see the video happening for Mercury retrograde? I'm not even going to buy a new one, so it's okay. You guys can put your constructive criticism, get a new, webcam. I'm going to wait till Mercury goes direct. It's just better and wiser, why take the chance? And you know what? You don't want to sit there and just watch me the whole hour for this show. You can listen to me, walk around, wash the dishes, do stuff while you're hearing me also. Maybe it's getting you off the chair and move around a bit, okay? Because we do want to stay active. Anyway, so again, this is Sirena Nereida with Celestial Soul Wellness, and this February full moon. Remember, a full moon is always going to be opposite the sun. So we're going to say, I'm looking for props. You would think, since I know, I do got some props. Hold on. Okay, woohoo, I'm back. So let's say this is the sun. When we have a new moon, the moon is conjunct or right next to the sun in the same sign as it travels through the zodiac. But the moon changes signs every 2.5 days. Now that's very important because many of you are not aware of your own moon sign. And that's why when you do read the astrology or listen to the astrology, watch it, the forecast and all that, it is best to listen to your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascendant sign, okay? All three is going to be what makes up the most part of you, not just your sun sign. That's why twins can be different. Well, a full moon is when the sun is in one sign and the moon is exactly opposite, and that's the case this time. So we have the sun is in Aquarius and the moon is in Leo, okay? Conjunct Jupiter. So we got something else here. Use my head as Jupiter there, okay? So, and that's the push and pull. And that's how come we can see the full moon and why we cannot see the new moon. Because when we have a new moon and it's right next to the sun blinds, it's so shining, so bright, it shines out the moon, it takes over. Okay, and during the day the moon is with the sun, and so at night obviously we don't see the sun, that's why it's nighttime. The moon is not going to be there either. Okay, so we have several things going on. Oh my goodness, where to start? Let's see here. Oh gosh, I got so much. Okay, we're going to start off, of course, with astrology, and I did explain right now the full moon, new moon. Well, the moon is in a Leo. Leo is a very here I am, shining bright. It is the second brightest out there, okay? We could see Jupiter with the naked eye even in the brightest of nights, okay? Before it even gets dark. So Jupiter is in Leo on top of that. Now the nice thing about Jupiter likes things to be fair, equal, and it's always encouraging us to go further. In fact, Jupiter really rules Sagittarius and then Pisces. So it's asking us to be connected at all times, okay, with the universe and with Source, the Holy Spirit or the divine creator of all that is, or the great white spirit, or Tor, with your God, in other words, okay? And understanding the balance, how the universe is always in balance and that necessity, and it's always enjoying everything that is balanced together, okay? So also too, that when we have slight distraction there, with Jupiter being in retrograde, it's a time for introspection of how we interact. Now, being in Leo is ruled by the sun. It is the father. You notice many cultures will stand back and say, will go back and say that they came from the sun, or the gods of the sun, or their god is the sun. I mean, look how many flags have the sun as a dominant symbol there, okay? So, I mean, we got what? Honduras, Argentina, Uruguay, Japan, just to name a few, okay? And so, that we stem from them, okay? Remember, the sun has that awesome energy that when we do clearings as a healer, I know when I do clearings, I throw all that negative energy to the sun because it can transform that negative energy to positive. Some people might give it to Mother Gaia. I know then after a while it has to erupt in one way or another, okay, either through volcanoes or tsunamis and all that and disasters, though we do need a cleaning, a flood, a Moses flood, a Noah flood periodically. I just rather not. It's just my personal preference. I send it out to the sun. Maybe also because I am a cusp baby, a Cancer Leo cusp baby, and so, and I got my Mercury and Mars in Leo, that I'm just like, let's give it to the sun. The sun can handle it, Okay, so, but Jupiter's in retrograde, so it's an introspective time of how we interact with others. Leo also represents children and activities and fun. So this is a time to really consider how we interact with children. How are we healing and encouraging the child within us? A lot of times, some cultures will have, oh no, it's just a child, I want to keep it innocent. But innocence is keeping it, in a lot of ideas of culture, very protective and not knowing what is happening in the world. And then essentially one day, unless that child dies very young, hopefully, not because it doesn't fulfill the sole purpose. Well, then again, we don't know its sole purpose. But one day it's going to have a clash of reality, major psychological issues, probably derived from a Pluto hitting it one way or another, or its Saturn return. But really, a child is where we got to teach them of the world in a positive way and how to handle itself in the different circumstances so it doesn't get hurt. Okay, I say it because I'm trying to use it to refer to both male and female, not because I think children are items. I know there are some people who have issues, who watch, different videos and make comments without thinking thoroughly and deeply the philosophy of why astrologers use certain vocabulary. Okay, all they know is, I'm offended. Well, let me be a Leo and say, I'm offended because you're offended. Think a little. Anyway, moving right along. All right, so this is a time to really see how are we healing, how are we enjoying our own inner child, because Jupiter being retrograde, so is Mercury being retrograde. And Mercury, it rules Gemini, and that's the period of our life when we're younger, the teenage years. And so it's, again, going back within ourself, okay, and nurturing that and taking some time and saying, how have I reached those childhood dreams, okay? How was I disillusioned, and maybe can I still have it? Why am I not having faith? Okay, why have I given up? The sun, okay, which rules Leo, is all about confidence, not of arrogance. That's the shadow side, the bad side, okay? That's when someone takes it too far. But of confidence, of universal love, because the sun just shines, and anything within its, presence, or as far as it can get, is going to receive the benefit of that shining, of that beautiful energy. And so how are we shining? How are we loving? How are we giving energy? Because remember, everything we give off is return. Energy is in constant motion. A lot of people fear, oh, if I do this, I'm going to lose my energy. As a healer, many people say, oh, no wonder you do permanent makeup or other things too, because you must drain you. And it doesn't drain me working with clients and hearing, a lot of pessimistic stories or helping them. I just like to, something different, because that's the type of person I am, having my Venus in my third house in Virgo. Okay, so anyway, I'm talking a lot about myself because I get a lot of people who write me emails, text messages, write comments. What is your sign? So I'm sharing a little bit more of me today. Okay, astrologically speaking, before some of you guys like to rearrange people's words. Okay, so straight out, let's talk. Also happening today is that there is a yod. A yod is going to be the finger, we call it the finger, where we have the isosceles triangle, and it's a white space with a quincunx. What's going on with a yod? Let me just show you an idea here, okay? Can we, so we have right here, we have Chiron with Pluto, okay? And then we have the moon conjunct right there, both Juno and Jupiter, which is really nice because too what's going on is people are finding a better idea of what they need in relationships. Okay, Juno really represents what it is as a wife, okay, and Jupiter as the husband. A lot of people, this is in a marriage, okay? The sun is the man in your life, all right? And how the Mars is your drives and all that. The moon is your emotions, the woman, your mother. And Venus is how you like to love. So, but this is in a partnership, how it works together. And it's all in the same sign and saying we're working together. And that's very important because during this full moon, even though full moons usually talks about endings, we are working together, all right, as a group, as a society, as partners, to move ahead and help people, and having Jupiter there, making sure equality and fairness. Okay, also with what happens with that yod, all right, this energy is in flux, okay, because within a yod you have a quincunx. Okay, and that energy is not necessarily opposite. It's just kind of like, where do I go? Where do I go? So it's kind of like almost a loose wire. You see those, I was going to say Thomas Edison, California, Southern California Edison, we have over here these billboards that says, don't touch a down wire. And it's very important because I'm going to tell you the same thing. Don't touch a down wire. If you can direct the energy, though, without touching it, that would be the most beneficial position and direction to go in. Okay. And because it's the energy is so in flux and it's going back and forth, a lot of people are gonna take the stance of victimhoods, especially those Pisceans and Scorpios and Capricorns, all right? Let me tell you, this is when I come in and pull a share from Moonstruck and I say, snap out of it, okay? It does you no good. Remember, victimhood really is saying, I don't want to take charge of what's going on. I don't want to think about it. Oh, well, life is happening to me. I'm going to allow this. I'm undeserving, blah, blah. And they're trying to get attention from that. Everybody needs attention, which is fine, but that's not a positive way. Okay, it's a very childish way. Anybody who plays victimhood like that, it really needs to develop themselves more. Okay, so encouraging someone's story of victimhood, encouraging someone's, hopelessness or I have no control is actually hurting them. And you are not being a friend or a good loved one if you are doing that, okay? You got to tell them, hey, remember, we create our world. Laws of attraction. What we put out there is what's going to return to us. So one has to really think, what are we putting out there? If you are being victimhood during this time, okay, it's because you're putting it out there. Maybe you don't like it, but that's the only way you know how to live, okay? And so if we need to rearrange that perspective, come see me. We'll do a healing, okay, or clearing. Give me a call. I do long distance healings also. And we'll release that negative energy and find out why you're taking that victimhood stance. So let's continue, okay? Let's see here. This time, this yard can create some delays, especially since it is involving Jupiter retrograde. So it's not going to be moving forth. And though Mercury retrograde is not part of the yard, It is going to encourage certain delays. Anything that happens at this time is not set in stone. So something surprising, unsettling, unless it's a death, and even then it's not set in stone, because we can still connect to those souls, all right, and sometimes even better, all right, after they have physically passed from this dimension. And we got to say thank you, thank you, thank you, and be happy for them to have encouraged. All right, let's see here. I've mentioned all that. Okay, let's move right along. We also have talking about we have Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, which is in Virgo, is opposite Venus and Pisces. All right, so there seems to be some romantic love coming out there, but because of Black Moon Lilith, it's going to be causing some embarrassments, okay? Due to Black Moon Lilith in Virgo, there's going to be some criticisms, all right? So there's going to be some romantic, oh, I want to dream, I want to go away, ooh, put on my rosy glasses, because, you know, some people say, well, you just said Pisces likes to play the victimhood. Pisces does extremes, okay? That's why you have the fish going in opposite directions. To find that balance is very few times. They got to really ground themselves, okay? And so, you know, there's a need and want to be loved, and a lot of people look for love through other people. They try and control other people and tell them, you know, anybody who is jealous is really someone who is insecure, is not connected with the universe and with themselves, and they are trying to feed, like vampires, love off of other people. So be careful when you express jealousy, because you're really telling other people, I'm insecure, I'm playing the victimhood because I have yet to find time to ground myself and connect myself with myself and with the universe and our divine creator of all that is. So I'm going to use you to find some confidence and approval and worthiness within me. But I'm going to do that by controlling you. But we all know that if after a while, when we try and control people, or people who do that, after a few years, they just like, they don't appreciate that person. When the person's not really being controlled, they just really, oh, well, they want to show so much how they love, okay? And it's not being appreciated. So we have to make sure during this time that, are you giving of yourself because you truly unconditionally want to give of yourself? Or are you trying to find approval and acceptance? Are you being jealous? Are you controlling because you really think you're better than everybody else and you deserve more attention and more attending to? Or is it because really you're scared that once people realize you're human and all your faults, you think, because I say you think because it's all within, that you're not going to be wanted. We're all human. Let me tell you, this is a time with Venus, okay, opposite Black Moon Lilith. I'm going to say something. This is probably where my aunt would say, ay, que grosería. But I'm going to say it anyway. We all go to the bathroom. And when we do go number 2, I'm pretty sure it does not smell like roses for everybody, okay? So, knowing that, anytime you're feeling insecure, look at that other person and say, don't say it out loud, but do acknowledge that they're just human. Don't give them too much power. We are all equal. We are all wonderfully wonderful here. We are all the wonderful energies, okay? And we are uniquely, equally different, yet connected, not separate. Okay, so let's see, it's continue. Also something to really consider why that's going on is because Neptune is also conjunct Venus. All right, and so there's a lot of rosy glasses going on and saying, oh, but they'll see how much I love. So there's a lot of service giving, okay? Pisceans can be a bit submissive, and but then when they're feeling unappreciated, it can turn to resentment, okay, and a slight rejection. So there is this need and energy out there of supporting others, and being submissive, remember, is not something negative, all right? Only for those people who like to abuse others, all right? Being submissive is being supportive, really encouraging someone's happiness by bringing out and reminding what that person is of happiness, okay? We do not create happiness for others. We can remind them how they make themselves happy, okay? And encourage that environment. There's a big difference. Okay, so let's see here. Also, we have Venus is conjunct Chiron here, okay? It's doing a little dance. Let's just take a look at that. Here we got Venus. Do we got a good, can we see that right there? Is that clear? All that. We got Mars. Let me go a little clearer. Okay, you guys see all that? We got Mars, Chiron is highlighted, Venus is there, then Neptune, okay? And so when it's conjunct, it's usually, if it's a grand luminary, it's within 10 degrees. Asteroids will go anywhere from 3 to 1 degrees. But in this case, we do have Venus is conjunct, you know, Chiron there in my notes. So through and through, there's a time for healing through all this. And it's very important because we're getting opportunities, since not only is Venus conjunct and right there with Chiron that says, yes, let's heal, because it's the wounded healer. It will heal others, you know, yet it's wounded because it hasn't been able to really figure out, all right, what is stemming from deep down inside. And because it's in Pisces, you got the deep ocean waters. And so sometimes something is so deep in our DNA, you know, embedded in our cells and mitochondria, because our cells have memory, that sometimes someone does something and we react and we're not even sure why. Okay, could have occurred from when we were really young or in the womb of our parents. Remember, a lot of situations, dis-ease, okay, like autism and ADD, all right, have occurred a lot of times, and we're finding out more and more because unfortunate for the mothers, they had either a lot of mercury, they were taking shots, or they had just got new stuff put in their teeth within a year of the pregnancy, and have metal, you know, toxins or poisoning, and all the preservative foods that they're eating, and they're not being grounded. In the olden times when a woman was pregnant, it's like you stay home, relax. Nowadays it's difficult to do that. We're living on two-parent income, or one parent and one parent, you know. A lot of us are not even married, okay? And so it's like, well, how am I supposed to just stay home? I want to keep my child, you know, and just rest and stay positive. But every time, that means when we are pregnant, okay, and I know because I've had a son myself, we have to make that extra effort to stay grounded, because they sense all that energy. The minute we get stressed out, we are allowing ourselves to get stressed out. Remember, oh, this stresses me out. We're taking, again, situation of victimhood. Nothing stresses us out. We choose through our perspective of flight, fight, fright, terror, okay, to react a certain way that is going to cause high levels of cortisol that is unnecessary, and we aren't being grounded. And unfortunately, that energy is not also just coming out through our auras. It is penetrating within our organs, causing disease and toxins within the unborn child, within our cells and DNA. So we have to take responsibility for ourselves and really consider taking more positive perspectives, okay, and belief system, and say, wait, before I get all frustrated, no one's gonna die here. Unless they are, then it's, you know, time to take control. But really consider, what are we doing to ourselves and to those around us, you know? And I'm going to just talking about all that with Venus and Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith can be very jealous and frustrated and resentful. And something to consider is, a lot of times they say, you know, be careful of woman's wrath. But the woman's wrath is caused by her own disillusions that she has caused to herself, all right, from taking the perspectives. Men fall in love with the beauty. Even women fall in love when a woman is within her feminine essence. But when all of a sudden she is off ground, she is not grounded. You know, they say we turn into this witch, you know, which I know because I've done it myself. And then the guy's like looking at us like, oh my God, what happened to the fun loving woman I love? You know, because usually when we're fun loving, we are more grounded. It doesn't mean we're an airhead and not taking reality, okay? In fact, when people are more straight face, sour pussed face, you know, they have a very negative perspective on life, and they're creating more of that negativity and putting that energy out. So watch that with that black moon Lilith, please. Okay, so we have Chiron, who's going to encourage that healing. Let's take that healing and really take it within ourselves. If you want to do it personal, remember, you cannot heal yourself with the same energy that caused that. Okay, so if something causes me upset now, I cannot heal myself with that same, because I'm in that same energy force. Now I can heal myself from something previous because I'm on a different dimension. I'm on a different energy, frequency, vibrational level. And that's why we need to go to other people for healings, release, and clearings, okay? And if you're not sure and you prefer face-to-face and I'm not within the vicinity, give me a call. I'll let you know of wonderful healers in your vicinity, okay? So let's continue here. We have the sun, which of course we talked about already, the sun opposite of moon conjunct Jupiter. And let me just review here to make sure we talked about the ego, introspection. Good. So now let's continue with sun, that is sextile Pallas. Okay, it's a very creative time in how we approach the universe, esoteric, okay, and metaphysical times, really making connection that everybody, because Pallas is also the fraternity, the sorority, that we are all connected in one way or another. I'm going to give an example, and it's very important. It's unfortunate, but there was a teacher at my son's high school, the English teacher, which encouraged why Steinbeck was talking about loneliness and the mice and men, and I don't agree with that. What he was talking about more is how we create separateness ourselves and focusing on how we are different. Okay, if it was a very wise teacher, yes, I'm calling it out, you know, but maybe someone can tell them, because I have 20 years of teaching experience, over about 15 years at the high school level. So I know what I'm talking about with my masters and all that, okay? One needs to, and I had my son write and express that instead of focusing on how we are different, how we are different is what makes us unique. But how we are the same is what keeps us connected, okay? And we always have to remember how we are connected, because that is why we are equal. How we are different just makes us unique, but not better than someone else. Just maybe perhaps more developed or talented in a certain area. Everybody could be just as talented if they choose to put their focus and priority on that talent or ability. Just everybody has different priorities, okay? So being different, how we are different, does not make us better. It just makes us uniquely as wonderful as everybody else, okay? Just like our thumbprint. Remember, anytime you're feeling that, you know, not special, your thumbprint is the only thumbprint, your iris also. So remember that, consider that. Okay, let's move right along. Okay, we have, we talked about the yod, and I also have the moon. What do I have here? The moon with Pluto in, no, it's not in conjunct. Oh, yeah, it is. The moon is in conjunct Pluto. Okay, that's part of the yod. Sorry about that. My notes are a little bit scattered. We had a lot of things coming on. We have a newcomer. Our love goes out to Otis. We miss Otis very much from December. But my aunt brought over a couple puppies, so we have a new member to our family. My son has named him Bato, as in Bato Loco. Okay, I guess he's focusing on his Hispanic roots and not on his German ones. Well, Wolf. Okay, so okay, here we go. Uranus opposite the North Node, which Uranus is in Aries, and of course it's conjunct the South Node. Anytime it's opposite the North Node, it means it's conjunct. Okay, so and they are the South Node and Uranus is happening in Aries in 13 degrees fact Aries. What that means, goodness, there's going to be sudden occurrences, happenings, and be careful, those of you who are not grounded, if you're air sign, okay, especially Geminis, and then my mutable signs, Virgos and Sagittarius and Pisceans, okay, these things can cause and all of a sudden you cause a nervous tension. Your nervous system is not grounded, and you could cause strokes, paralyzations, trouble with your bone structure, multiple sclerosis, Bell's palsy, you know. So please, please be grounded during this next month, because there's going to be constant, I mean, every week there's something going on. All right, and we have to realize, oh, just let it go. Let's surf through it and enjoy the waves and just see where it goes, and don't take anything, you know, too personal. And okay, if we have to make a decision, let's make one knowing that it's gonna be, it could change again. Nothing is forever. All right, nothing is forever. So remember that. And that kind of, you know, makes things feel a little bit better. And I know I have to remember that, because sometimes I'm like, you know, and go, okay, breathe. Let me get grounded. Let me do my Merkaba breathing, you know, saying, God, yes, I know it's not happening to me. It's just part of life. And then it's like, okay, well, we'll see how this works, you know. Okay, so there's major dynamics going on. We're going to feel apart from someone because Uranus is opposite the North Node, which is in Libra. Libra is all about harmony and partnerships, okay? But Uranus is creating that apartness and disruption. It could be something permanent like a death, or it could be something temporary or long-term, or maybe it is permanent but someone is moving away. It could be something as frivolous like you cannot contact them through the phone. The phones are not working, hence with Mercury retrograde. And especially remember, it's always more frustrating, the energies during Mercury storm, which is always those 5 days after the retrograde period. That's why a lot of astrologers say, oh yeah, the Mercury period, retrograde period, is actually 5 weeks, not 3 weeks, because you have the storm first, then during, and then after. Any decisions made during Mercury retrograde is not forever, just know that, you know. And so take it with a grain of salt, say, okay, well, we'll play with this. It might give us an opportunity to do something or see life in a different perspective, you know, that we never thought of. Try and find the positive with it. Maybe it's time to do something also that we needed to do, okay, that we hadn't considered, or we were like hesitant about. So another thing that's going on here, we have let me see my notes. I got Pluto. Oh, okay, I see. Sorry. We have Pluto, the North Node, Uranus creating a T-square. Now, if you are a Grand Cross, if you are a Cancer, okay, and you're anywhere within those 13 degrees, 5 degrees either way, you yourself, which is me, my ascendant is 13 degrees Cancer, are going to encourage that to become a Grand Cross, okay? Now, what does that mean there? You know, again, we have sudden separations or that we hadn't anticipated. Certain things going on. There's going to be changes. Look in the houses where that is, okay? If you have a luminary, a moon, sun, or anything else within those 13 degrees, you know, of Cancer, or also you are just a part of that T-square, okay? If you have 13 degrees of a cardinal sign or of and well, cardinal sign, you know, of fire, air, you know, water. It's going to, you're going to feel that, okay? So how do you know? Well, look at your chart to see in which sections you're going to find those changings, you know? All right, let's see here. We also have Mercury going direct. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the planetary aspects for the next 2 weeks. Sorry, I kind of jumped ahead. You know, this is 34 minutes. Okay, I like to write down the time and put in the description for you. Alrighty, so that is what's going on. So in the next 2 weeks, what we have is we got Mercury is going direct at 1 degree Aquarius. Woohoo! And that's hitting my moon. Yes, my moon is at 4 degrees. Okay, Aquarius. Yes, I'm really sharing with you guys. That way, next time someone asks me all my information, I'll point them back to this video. Okay, so anyway, and that's happening on the 11th of February. So, you know, if you're like me, you're telling your car who needs a new distributor, please, I love you. Let's wait out. Let's wait this out. Webcam, wait it out. We'll get everything electronically and technologically new after. If you must, which sometimes we do, have to get into something new electronic or technological, or create a new email because that's part of communications, get some kind of warranty protection for you, so that way, hey, just play it safe. You never know. You don't want to have to be like, oh, why did that happen? You know, I wish I had listened to about the Mercury retrograde. Okay, now though I want to tell you a little secret, and which a lot of astrologers don't tell you, is that if you yourself were born during Mercury retrograde, you don't have those same difficulties, because you are naturally in tune with that kind of energy that others aren't. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to be the one getting the warranty, and you're the one who could get this technology and electronics. You know, so sometimes when I tell people, hey, you know, it's Mercury retrograde, this and that, I forget to mention that, though, if you are born during Mercury retrograde, you're not put in that same position, okay? And so, let's continue. I have other things going on this month. If I could find my notes. No, that's just the majority of it? Okay, great. Well, let's talk about the individual, how this full moon is going to affect the individual zodiac signs, okay? All right, let me get some wonderful tea. This is the wonderful African rice mixed with spring blossom cherry, is it spring cherry blossom from Coffee Bean? Yes, not Starbucks, because Starbucks is part of Monsanto and the Monsanto supporter. I know, I used to love going for those green tea frappuccinos. It's great to work there, but don't give them money. Go ahead, take their money. Okay, so if you must, go to Tierra Mia or Coffee Bean, or to your mom's and pop's place. That's always nice. And if you could create your own teas, that's even healthier. So let's go to the individual zodiac signs, okay? So Aries, this is happening in your 5th house. Your 5th house, again, everything we have just mentioned and more so, okay? Because it's time to have some fun. Go out, play. You know, play with your children under the moonlight, create a bonfire there, you know, don't let anybody get too close, you know, roast some marshmallows, tell some stories, and just get yourself out and about, hanging out with children, just letting that inner child out and sharing it, that wonderful vulnerability, and just, you know, just really enjoying it with other people. Taurus, this is happening in your 4th house. Your 4th house is all about mothers, okay? Your physical house, all right? And also this house, your temple, your body is your number 1 house. It's your number 1 transportation system, okay? I always say. So if your body is not working well, you can't do anything else. It just really disheartens me when I see people with the flu and colds and they're going to work. Well, I gotta go because I gotta do this, or I got to. No one wants that energy around. You need to get better, healed, grounded, because you're no good with that kind of energy. Okay, remember, why is it that some people don't get sick? Just so you know, people who get flus and colds very often is feeling unloved, feeling unappreciated, okay? And so once again, it's a matter of perspective. You need to take that within yourself, okay? And wonder, why are you choosing that perception? How is that serving you for the good, okay? And it probably isn't. If you're sick, it's not serving for the good. So that means that's your soul saying, wake up, try something new. We needed a whole new philosophy, or not a whole new one, but some new ones, okay? And release all those negative. Come see me. We'll do a release, clearing, and healing. Okay, so Gemini, we have it's going on in your third house. So this is communication, transportation. Maybe you've had some trouble with some communication, or people haven't been understanding you. Maybe your choice of words, maybe your choice of hearing what they want to hear. That's why I always say it's nice to see things in email and text, because it's straight there. And they're going, I said that here, they just don't hear it. Or, whoops, I did write that. Why did I write that? You know, it's not what I meant. Sorry. That way you can refer back, because a lot of times, like, well, you said that, it is, you said, no, I said. It's a lot of hearsay. So sometimes, you know, seeing things there in text is great. And so this also has interaction with your cousins and your siblings, all right, and what's going on. Maybe it's time to have to do some clearings and release regarding them, okay? It's also with your neighborhood. What is going on in your neighborhood that you've had to interact more with than you have in the past? So, you know, it's your car, neighborhood, family members, cousins, and siblings, okay? Also deals with education. So are you taking a new class? You know, are you teaching a new class? Are you singing or learning an instrument, which is always nice, or pertaining to that? If you're watching, Aries, just by the way, a lot of times I forget to mention that the fifth house, I know, real quick Aries thing, the fifth house also includes our large pets. So if you have horses or large dogs, or como se dice, chivos, goats, sheep, you know, hey, I don't know, you know, if you're in Australia or in the farm or anything. I'm just letting you know that includes large pets, okay? So going back now to Cancer. Yes, it's Mercury retrograde. I did one of those. Okay, so Cancer, this is happening in your second house. Woohoo! Finances. Okay, talking about that, I'm always appreciative when you guys send me donations, no matter how small it is. You don't know how wonderful it adds up, those 50 cents from all of you. And let me tell you, those people who, my gosh, send me those wonderful bigger donations, I'm so in gratitude and appreciative. But anyway, that's just a little, I remembered and I wanted to show gratitude, Cancer. But yes, it is happening in your personal finances. So things are changing in your personal finances, you know. When one thing ends, something starts. So I don't like to say ending anymore or starting. I like to say changes and adjustments where it's needed. Okay, so you're giving new opportunities here, which is fine. You might not see it right away, but you will, okay? Especially since in a few months we have, or well, actually next month, in March, we have the eclipse happening. We're having a couple of eclipses happening, and we're having a super moon also too in a couple of weeks. So we are going through changes. I know that Cancer is so attached to its past, but that means you're not living in the present. Learn from the past, bring the good parts of the past into the present and share it, but be in the moment. Be here and really feel. And I say that also because I am Cancer. My sun is 26 degrees Cancer, and my ascendant is at 13 degrees Cancer. If anybody, you know, is attached to the past, woohoo, you know. But knowing that, I give appreciation to the past, but my Aquarius moon, you know, and my Leo sun and my Mercury and Mars and Leo is really saying, be here now, and to detach, but to be connected, okay, and not take things personally. And I'm going to really share that with you, because it really was difficult for me to learn that, since my moon is obviously in conjunct, you know, my sun. So it was like, how do I do that? Okay. And it took time, but I learned, and it was wonderful. Almost creating the moon was so close to an inconjunct that it's closer to an opposition, but it is good because to constantly put ourselves in check, but in a positive way, to really remind ourselves it's for the best. So those and that the things happening in our second house also deals with our moral issues, our perspectives. Why do we see things a certain way? How has it been positive and beneficial and worthy, to create such a wonderful life? If we're having negative things going on, it's a matter of our perception, of perspectives, our ideologies, philosophies, customs, cultures, traditions. Okay, either self-taught, family taught, school taught, scientific taught, media taught, society taught. So really time to kind of like, I don't need that way of thinking anymore. There was a time when one could had to stay a virgin until they got married. Tell that to, 3/4 of the world now. Ooh, there's no hell or anything that we're going to go to because of that. It wasn't before, it was all a matter of perspective. Creating guilt. Release that guilt. That is so bad, and it's going to affect your digestive system, okay? Leo, moving right along. Leo, woohoo. Hi there. This is happening in your first house, so things are going to be coming to an end. Perhaps you tried a new appearance, of how people see you, okay? It's not going to... you're getting opportunities for people to see you in a different light and to really see that other part of you shine, okay? And that's important because we have a lot of times we say it's an ending, but really with the moon shining in the first house, it's just letting them see this other wonderful side of you, okay? And because of that, it's going to allow yourself, maybe you've been hiding behind a partnership, maybe you've been hiding behind others, a Leo hiding behind others. Maybe your moon or your sun was in Leo or something like that, but it's possible. And now you're taking a step out and saying, here I am. I am just as awesome and wonderful as all those people that I support. You're not saying, hey, look at me, back up, people. No, it's not that. You say, hey, it's part of the fun. Hey, look at the children. Let's really enjoy this. Because Leos really haven't interacted with children. And it's a special part, especially with large animals also. And it's just getting yourself out there and taking direction finally. Stop allowing guilts or embarrassments or pain or rejections or feelings of unworthiness or doubts and insecurities to create obstacles for you. So just move on ahead. It's time to do it. And if you think you need a energy clearing or healing for that, you know what to do. Give me a holler, okay? So, Virgo, this is happening in your 12th house. A lot of, considering that Virgo is ruled by Mercury retrograde, Mercury, and it's retrograde, it's being supported by this full moon in the 12th house. You're getting opportunities to take some time back, take a step back, take an introspective stance and really see what's going on inside. Meditate a lot. Remember, prayer is when we ask, meditate is when we're open to receive. My Venus is on Virgo, so I understand that concept, okay? And so this is a time where, you might not be too involved with other people, which is fine because only a couple more weeks and then we move forward with Mercury, direct, okay? And so, just time to clear out all that inner clutter, those cobwebs. It's a great time to get some energy clearings done and really release all those obstacles that have been just hindering you, especially since the full moon will be in your sign in a month, so it's going to give you a time to shine also. Okay, we have Libras happening. Libras, this is happening in your 11th house of friendships. So you're seeing dynamics within your friendships, okay? Things are no longer as they were before. Also, what you need, what you are looking for in friends is changing, especially since you have the North Node is in your sign. So you're really getting that support system there to really find harmony, but in a way that is not self. Want equality, harmony, fraternity, sorority, egalite, all those. And with the scales being balanced, you're realizing, do I really need that? Okay, how is that also helping me to give more? All right, or am I just giving to hide from myself? A lot of times we give a lot of ourselves to hide from ourselves, because then we really don't want people to realize, or we don't want to deal with our emotions. Someone said this past weekend, they're like, oh my gosh, I don't like being alone, because then I'm alone with the thoughts in my head, and they talk back to me. And no, but that's exactly what needs to be done, to clear out things and wonder, why is that happening? Okay, so this time to make new goals, Libras. Okay, because the old one's no longer serving you. Especially you had Saturn, okay, in your sign about 3 years ago. Then you had in your progressive Libra sign, it's just finishing. So you're really getting an opportunity now to think about, what are your morals and your limits and boundaries, and how can you implement them in this new life that you're creating for you, the next chapter, Libra. Okay, Scorpio, this is happening in your 10th house. So things are changing at work, perhaps an authority figure or a female is going to be leaving, or as someone that you relied on, okay, or there's something going on perhaps with an authority figure that's a female in your life, okay, that stuff is making changes, but you're realizing, that you yourself can be that authority figure. You're grounded enough to handle the situation and take over. You're ready to be in the public display again. It was hard with Saturn in your sign. You're like, oh gosh, So really enjoy this time to really shake it all off. Just do some yoga, swimming, punch it out. Maybe take, some martial arts, okay, or some kickboxing. Whoops, that was just boxing, huh? Not kickboxing. Silly me. Okay, and just shake it out and get it all out. If you're in a passive sport, get into a more active sport to really release, because that felt good. Sorry, had a moment there. Oh, good stretch. Come on, stretch with me, Scorpios. Oh, now when you're stretching, also push from that. Now back. Remember, Scorpio, you're ruled by Mars, okay? And that's very important, because Mars is in Pisces right now. And it's that is trying your sign. So it likes it there, it likes water, you're water. It's really getting time to heal after everything you've gone through. Just really go and love yourself, your human self. Don't let your ego get in the way. Love that you're human, and give of yourself, and take and have some passionate nights out there. That's what you really need. Okay, if you're not indulging in that, you're self-sacrificing, and it's not serving any purpose. It's not doing you any good. Okay, so move along. Here we go. Sagittarius, this is happening in your 9th house. So you're getting a lot of opportunities to really see how connected you are with Source and the universe and your God, okay, or gods, all right, and seeing what part you play in all that. So perhaps you were taking more of a masculine essence, and now there's going to be a feminine essence. I'm not saying you are yourself becoming transgender. What you're doing is you're finding the yin and yang within yourself to find that balance. And it's also in your 9th house, and this is of healing. Okay, you're making connections, and by connecting, we are healing ourselves more instead of being separate. And also knowing that with other cultures, because it's time to take a cooking class, learn a language, go travel, Sagittarius. And if you're traveling, take me with you, okay? I love it, so I love to travel. Anyway, so it's a really time to find connectedness within all that, to enjoy Being alone is not loneliness. Loneliness is a matter of perception, okay? Because you can be totally lonely within a group, because you are identifying of how you're all separate instead of how you are the same. All right. And so really go out there, spread your wings, go on a Harley and be the Rolling Stone, travel, and just really admire, delve into, the different cultures and belief systems and perspectives, and really enjoy yourself, okay? Let's see here. Capricorn, this is happening in your 8th house. Your 8th house is all about, other people's finances, taxes. Okay, yes, you're probably already starting on your taxes, knowing you, Capricorn. We're already beginning of February. Hello. How could you have waited so long? I'm having my doubts about you, Capricorn. Anyway, so Capricorn, this is happening, okay? And you really want to, finish things off. You're like, I finally paid this off, woohoo, and maybe you're finishing a financial partnership that you had before with someone, and it's no longer needed, and you're like, that's been, holding you back. So you're being relieved. This is also happening in your house of sex, okay, and transformation. So you're getting a chance now with Pluto hanging out in your sign all this time. Hold on, let me drink some water. Actually, it's tea. With Pluto hanging out in your sign for a while now, and it's still, it's barely at 14 degrees. It's barely halfway there, okay? You've been feeling all the changes. You've been feeling things going on, and because Pluto's about underground and all that, and you guys love being in that cave, you've kind of hid out from others. In fact, you kind of be afraid. And this is include people with their moon in Capricorn, okay, and their ascendants. Kind of been afraid to go out there, and it's like, here I am. You've been doubting yourselves. You guys criticize yourself a lot because of material values that you're grading yourself on. And that's not good. That's not fair. You're making life more difficult than it needs to be. Seriously, this is when I have to be the dominatrix. I'm going to be a switch and say, shame on you. Let's go. Whip it out of you. Snap you back into shape. And that way you can be the person you are again, okay? And in fact, sometimes you purposely have done stuff to like push other people away, to like, you're not valued. And then if people stay by your side, you're like, oh, that's nice, but then you start questioning their value. Why would they keep you? Which is not nice, okay? Just stop it. Just stop completely. Let's do healing on you, and you'll be all better, okay? Trust me. This is, you're slowly getting time, and you're developing yourself, or you're going to get shine again. So, and if you don't snap out of it within the next 3 years, 2.5, 3 years, don't worry. Saturn's going to go into you, transform you, discipline you, and you're going to like it, because Saturn rules Capricorn, and you like it that way, okay? So, but in the meantime, it's best to do it yourself, because Saturn makes it happen if you like it or not, and usually not in the way you appreciate it, okay? So Aquarius, this is going in your 7th house of partnerships. Remember, 7th house of partnerships includes open enemies, which I don't like to, or competitors, okay? That's a better word for it. Okay, so if you're going to court, this is also happening with your business partnership. Any kind of partnership that you have legal connection, verbal or written, okay, that is, I'm not saying legal, verbal, written. I'm saying verbal or written and or legal, okay, agreement with that person. And so those dynamics are changing, especially since we have the moon that's there. It's a feminine sign in a masculine sign. So the moon is a feminine entity within a masculine sign. So that balance is so important, but it's cool because, and you like that because Aquarius, you can find that within yourself, okay? You are a masculine sign, but you understand the need because it's an air sign. You're a conductor, and you really appreciate that. So you're going to use that and see what are the dynamics going on within your relationships, and maybe you've had to take too much of a yin and now you're going yang, or vice versa, you're being more yang than yin. Okay, so really enjoy that, have fun with that. And two, you probably have certain separations going on because Uranus, which rules your sign, is in Aries and it's making things move forward. Perhaps you were supposed to separate from certain people and you chose not to. Maybe you had Libra in you or water sign going, no, I can't, and it was time to. Well, Uranus is going to make those separations happen. And but that's good because that leaves open for new ones. All right, woohoo! Especially because you're going to be having a new moon, a super new moon in your sign in a couple of weeks. So allow those separations to happen. It's about time. Yes. The cat just hissed at me when I went. Maybe I shouldn't do it again. Goodness, cats are ruled by Leo, the sun. Can you imagine? Okay, so Pisces, this is happening in your 6th house. Your 6th house is all about, your everyday life, your routine, your health. Time to do things differently with your health, okay? Maybe you weren't taking care of it, you weren't focusing on being organized. Now you have to really change things around, clear up that routine, be more organized, be more cleansed, and focus on what's going on. People appreciate it too around you when you're that way. Remember, because the energy that we give off is what people feel and see. And if you're wondering why people have taken a step back from you, well, it's also because think about the energy you've put off. Okay, so this is a time, don't worry, we all do it. We all get a new full moon in our 6th house, so don't take anything that I say personal. It's just time and opportunity to really clean house there and see, how can I change my routine to be more efficient? How can I change my routine to represent, and be more fulfilling in the responsibilities and priorities that I have right now, okay? And still allow me some time for fun and pleasure. That's very important. This is also time where you get to look in how you are taking on with pets. I know my son's a Pisces rising, and he got a new pet. So there you go, sometimes just changes happen. It could be as simple as that, Pisces. All right, well, that's that part of the show. Now we're going to go on to the Sabian Symbol. Okay, the Sabian Symbol. All right, for this a full moon at 14 degrees Leo, which means we actually look to the 15-degree one. Okay, that's how we read the Sabian Symbol. It's a pageant with its spectacular floats, and it moves along a street crowded with cheering people. Well, that's so fitting because Leo floats right there. It's not just one person in a little spotlight. It's a big float, okay? And it's showing itself amongst all the people on the street there, and the people are cheering. The audience, part of Leo, is not just being the spotlight but also being the audience, supportive and giving that energy. That person gives energy, the crowd and the audience gives energy back, and it's really an opportunity to share what's going on publicly. I guess that's what I've been doing. Ironically, I wrote down all these Sabian Symbol things a few months ago, so sometimes I don't review it ahead of time, and so I'm like, oh well, look at, coincidentally, we can always say, what was born first, the energies of the universe, or astrology. It's just one and one. Thank goodness someone was patient enough, or many people, many souls were patient enough to data entry everything, I guess, because historians is a type of data entry, right, where they wrote down the connectedness and coincidence, or how things were with each sign. So let's continue here. It's a good time to entertain people, to bring joy, bliss, and happiness into our lives. So really, and not just within our homes, because this is publicly, this is out on the streets, and so really just smile at people and really say good morning. Don't say how you doing. That's a question. I know many people, unless it's someone I haven't seen in a long time, when people say, hi, how you doing? I'm looking, I'm going, and if I say good morning, they never notice I never answered their question. And that tells me a lot about them. They're very self-centered. They didn't even really care. So, a simple good morning, good afternoon. Here, top of the morning to you. I wish I could do accents. My son would be like, Mommy, you're embarrassing me. Why? Okay. So, yes, just share that. And especially since we got February 14th coming up, today is Candlemas, which is the presentation in some cultures and religions of Jesus 40 days after the birth. Also, the first time he was in the temple, according to scripture. So, right. So, another thing of presentation. And it's also a time of, the lighting of the candles. All right. And bringing in light to the darkness. It is the exact midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. Okay. So, wait, did I get that right? Winter solstice, summer solstice. Yes. Okay. Woohoo. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're slowly having more light, more light. I know I woke up this morning at 5:15 and I was like, oh wait, is there a glimmer of light out there already? Wow, that is so cool. Maybe I'll start being able to walk early in the mornings again, and not be all in the dark. So it's a time to really share that joy and bliss. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along. And now we're going to start with the health section of our program. Woohoo! This is Celestial Soul Wellness Program and the full moon with Sirena Nereida. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to tell you, those of you who always watch the health, I have recorded the different yoga positions that support the different chakras, that support the different zodiac signs, but they're not ready or edited yet. Just to let you know, it's coming. This is my goal for the next 2 weeks, to get it for the new moon, so that way I can somehow cut and edit it and add it to the video. I'm slowly learning. I'm trying to get that Aquarius moon in me, of technology to kick in more and faster. Okay, so that way you just don't hear me rattling off. Okay, do this position, do that position, because I know, it's nice. I'd be like, okay, writing all down, and if I had a yoga class, then I go share it with, I'd be like, oh, thank you, Sirena Nereida. Maybe I didn't want to have to think of a yoga class. Now I can offer it to mine. I was so busy cooking dinner for my children, or working or whatever. So, but also remember, number one thing is, please ground yourself. Doing any kind of extraneous exercise, and that includes anything that requires deep breathing and energy flow, within 48 hours of a new moon, full moon, is dangerous, and especially within 4 days of an eclipse. Okay, so please take it easy on yourself. Do your Merkaba ball breathing. But it's a good time. Real quickly, I'm going to tell you the different glands and stuff that are affected at this time, that are more sensitive. So this is the parathyroid gland. All right. Good salts is magnesium and phosphate salt to take. Himalayan pink salt rock. Okay. Detox in a bath with Himalayan, by the way. You can eat it and cook with it. I only cook with Himalayan pink salts, okay? And I even have the lamps around. And you can put it in your bath, all right? And even, if you think you drank a little bit, detox it, put it on you, do a heating. Really, almost like a Castro pack, and to detox everything out of your organs, especially, your kidneys, your spleen. At this time, your spleen, your heart, your back. A lot of times, problems with our heart and Leos that get headaches is because your intestines are full of so you need to do a detox. Okay, I'm just being a little brat, having fun with it, but hey, why not? Okay, but no, really, you need to detox those intestines, because you're making a bulge. Your back, here's your spine, here's your intestines, and it's pushing, it's creating a bulge, and sometimes that's why you get a slip disc, and why it so easily comes out of place when you've had an accident or something, because you've had a bulge too. So a lot of you who've overweight, okay, eat a lot of meat, don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. Be aware of that, okay? And because you have that bulge and it's causing that back problems, it can create headaches all the way up here because your nervous system runs through the spine there and then crisscrosses at the neck. So if it's not straight and it crisscrosses, you're going to have a lot of bundles going on there. So if you get a chance to detox your spleen, that'll be very good. Be aware of your respiratory and cardiovascular systems at this time, all right? Take nice deep breaths, drink a lot of water, cut down on the smoking, alcohol. We talked about your spinal column, upper back also, your spine, circulatory system, most definitely, cardiovascular system, legs, knees, ankles, calves, and your pituitary gland. All right, so a lot of alkalized water at this time would very much benefit you. Okay, so now we got to that portion. Let me go on with, let me find, yes, I'm gonna rattle off some yoga positions for you, okay? So here we go. The yoga positions that we have, the Aquarius deals a lot with the crown chakra, okay? And so I have affirmations in here and everything. Let me see here. Thank you for your patience. I do have this all here. So, and here we go. So we have our crown chakra, our Sahasrara chakra, and some good essential oils at this time to take. You could even put in for your face. Okay, is gota cola, lavender, lotus, elemi, violet, amber, frankincense, cedarwood, galbanum, gurjam, helichrysum, jasmine, lavender, vetiver, myrrh, neroli. I love that. Let's see, rose, rosewood, sandalwood, and spikenard spruce. All right, and then we also have going on for the Sahasrara crown chakra, some good foods to really enhance us and keep us balanced and cleansed out. Okay, because this is more spiritual than physical. Actually, because it is more spiritual and physical, I should say, is you want to alkalize your system as much as possible. If you could do a green juice, that is always good. Even a yellow juice. And then, essentially detoxing fast, drink a lot of alkalized water, alkalized meals, and just prayer, meditate, and grace. And we're going to do a meditation pretty soon, so that's fine. Before one eats, really show that, connect that gap between divinity and humanity very much so. A lot of dried fruits, mushrooms is good, garlic, ginger, onion, lychee, coconut, and mangosteen. Okay, a lot of sunlight. Those of you who enjoy sun gazing, please, if you're not sure, look it up. Please be protective. It's not for everyone and not for every location. Remember, I'm not a doctor. My lawyer said I need to say all that, okay? Please refer to a doctor or your physician ahead of time. A lot of fresh air and, again, alkalizing spring water, okay? And some crystal healing, and that's really good for the Sahasrara crown chakra, all right, are going to be, let's see here, clear quartz, diamond, herkimer's, okay, white tourmaline, barite, amethyst, alexandrite. Let me just share with that, okay? So we got some amethyst, all right, clear quartz, let's see, obsidian, onyx, selenite, peacock ore. Okay, a lot of the ites. So here we go. Aphrodisonite, cavanesonite, fetchicite, cacosinite, petaliite, stitchite, okay? Oh, wow. Spirit quartz, yay, not a night. Selenite, okay? Selenite, I have the lamp there, okay? And scarletite, indigo blue, so all those, and moldavite. Woohoo, I get my moldavite, always good. Now be careful when wearing moldavite. It helps transform things faster and quicker if you are not ready. That also means if you are very negative, it can transform and make things more negative for you, okay? So, and let's go real quickly for the yoga. You got your tree pose. Do you guys want me, yeah, why not? Okay, I'm hearing, yeah, he teased us with the video, but you're not doing it. Okay, so you know, you got your tree pose there. All right, your half lotus. Well, you know, actually, I need to go. So, half lotus, your full lotus, reclining hero. Let's see here, corpse pose, headstand, plow, seated forward bend, crocodile pose, mountain pose, and fish pose. Okay, so you know when you're lying down there and doing your fish pose. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so at this time I'm going to take a bathroom break, and I'm going to see you in a little bit, and we're going to continue with the meditation. So get your music, your incense, okay, and a little blanket and a nice comfortable place. We'll be doing the meditation real soon. Good afternoon. This is Sirena Nereida with Celestial Soul Wellness. And right now we're going to do the crown chakra meditation for this full moon. So this is the Sahasrara chakra. And there are certain, with the meditation is actually more of a cleansing, a purification. Okay, because it really, you know, it's time of detoxing, cleansing everything out. Eat as much fruits and vegetables, alkalized water, drink alkalized water, you know, and just really breathing in. And when I say breathing in, not into your chest, like, no. We're talking about expanding the diaphragm area, okay? So you're going to expand the diaphragm area when you do that, okay? And so you're breathing in, you're inhaling through your nose for 5, maintain for 5, and exhale for 5, okay? And as we're doing that, we're going to do some affirmations, okay, while you're breathing. And so while you're breathing in, we're going to say the affirmations. And when you're releasing, imagine all your anger, resentment, obstacles, and frustrations, regrets, disapprovals, insecurities, everything that could be creating a separateness between you and your God, you with Source, you with the universe, okay? And separating you from you yourself. Maybe you're highly critical of yourself, all right? It's interesting because as a healer, I notice a lot, and people can say, well, by pointing that out, aren't you creating separateness? And the irony is, I have to point out what is going on that the client is doing or thinking that creates separateness between his ego and soul, between him and Source. And yes, there is a slight hypocritical stance there, but it's a needed one, okay? So I try and do it with compassion and with loving light and a universal love and unconditional universal love, not where like, hey, you're wrong here, this and that, da da da, you know. I'll only get that way because I can be that way. Whoa, you know. Anybody who knows what their South Node in Virgo? Yeah, that's me. Okay, can, but I choose not to. You know, I make a big effort to focus and that I'm being positive. That's why sometimes you see me hesitate when I say something, because I want to make sure I'm coming from my heart chakra and that I'm coming from universal and unconditional love. I'm pretty sure my son right now is rolling his eyes going, yeah, you didn't see her the other day when she told me off. But I always say too, is when a lot of people don't like to listen when we are coming from a nice, loving place. So, and if it's something very important, then, you know, like the third time, we have to like get in their face, and that's not cool, especially when it's something that's detrimental, you know, and like keeping your grades up and, you know, washing those socks. Just joking. Okay, so so let's start our Merkaba breathing. If you want, you have your candles in the background, some nice incense, okay? And You have, if you want, some nice flowing music. If you even like to, listen to some binaural beats through your headphones. Okay, so that way this penetrates, okay, and releases faster and detoxes better. So, ready? Okay. Let's take a deep breath in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you're sitting down, please make sure your back is straight, shoulders back and down, chin parallel to the floor. And release for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so as we breathe in, and repeat after me and say it to yourself, and if you can, keep the tongue, and remember, on top of your roof, so that way you're stimulating your pineal gland simultaneously, and your eyes are looking forward, upward, okay? And so breathe in for 5, and as you breathe in, repeat after me. Divine Spirit flows in and through me. God is in me, above me, below me, and all around me at all times. I am part of the divine. Life is unfolding for my highest good. I honor the divine within me. I acknowledge the presence of Spirit working in my life. I seek to understand and to learn from my experiences that nourish my spirit. God is my source. I seek the highest truth and the most healing ways to live my life with universal, unconditional, compassionate love for my brothers and sisters, always encouraging connectedness and celebrating and admiring our uniqueness. I am one with all of creation and the universe. I cherish my light. I cherish my soul. I cherish my spirit. I see the one true reality, which is the reality of Source. I seek experiences that nourish my spirit. I feel deeply connected with Mother Gaia, with those around me. I feel deeply connected with the here and now, the present, this moment. And we're going to continue saying more, but as you're saying this, imagine that your head has opened up your crown like a funnel, and that there's this rainfall of healing, loving, gold white light just coming in with blue hues in it, just filling in all the way down. Breathe in that light, and as you release that light, feel it going down your spine, spreading out through your shoulders, all the way down your arms to your fingertips, kind of like that scene from Shrek when she's in the church, when one true love kiss will transform her to her true self. Remember Princess Fiona? And some of you are going to have to YouTube that now. And she's just beaming, and she's lifted so much with that healing, loving light. It just lifts her up. And you can almost feel as the ground gives way, but yet you're so connected simultaneously. So just feel that. And feel that light just pushing out all that negativity that created separateness with you, that created your insecurities and your judgments upon yourself, and that criticism and that guilt and pain you're causing yourself, and those obstacles, okay? And just imagine a vacuum hose connected to the sun, to your aura there, that's just sucking all that negative toxins. And we're going to continue with more affirmations. So as you're blowing all that out, let's continue. Source works in my life regardless of my limitations. I honor and protect my divine spirit and soul. I know that all is good despite appearances to the contrary. There is beauty all around me. I listen to the wisdom of the universe. I trust my intuition. I release my gut and my instincts, but I delve and flow into my intuition. And while you're breathing, just remember, for those of you who are confused between the gut instinct and intuition, gut instinct is fear-based, and you kind of feel it in your stomach, those butterflies, like, oh no. Intuition is heart-based, and you just feel like, oh, everything's going to be good no matter what. Okay, there's a big distinction. Okay. And pretty soon, just so you know, my son is going to come over, and he's going to play his maracas, his Aztec maracas, background for us while we continue with the affirmations. Okay, so we're very thankful and privileged to have this wonderful young man who's also a healer, come in and work with us. So I'm going to continue, and we'll slowly hear him coming in, okay? All right. I listen to the wisdom of the universe. I trust my intuition. Keep breathing. I am open to the healing power of spirit and source. I am open to the healing power of spirit and source working in my life. I am open to letting go of my attachments. I am living from divine purpose. I look within where I am safe, loved, and protected. I am constantly and always living in the present moment. Inspiration fuels my creativity and my creations. I am graciously grateful for all that is good, for all the goodness in my life. I focus on the goodness and positive in my life. My spirit is eternal. It loves beauty, harmony, peace, and joy. The divine guides me on the path of life, wisdom, knowledge, and truth. And they are all mine and yours and everyone else's to enjoy. I trust that my highest good and greatest joy are unfolding now. I am grateful for all the good things and people and events in my life. I am grateful for all the goodness in my life. I trust my inner knowing to guide me through life. All people in my life are here to teach me something about myself so that I can grow. I accept that I need to grow and should grow to stay connected with Source, the Divine, God, the universe, and all my brothers and sisters here on this world. I know that all is well in my world. I release all fear, doubt, and pain as I accept that my life is blessed. Let's take a nice deep breath. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. And just feel all that coming out. And I want to bring in our wonderful wolf and say thank you. Thank you for watching. This is Sirena Nereida and Lobo Wolfgang with Celestial Soul Wellness. And may you have a blessed, blissful life always. Chaucito. That was the last minute.